It was because of people like us and those who work so hard to get you power. Now, no preventing people from getting power, no. And these are fools who are not supposed to be taking any positions. And your personal, it is because they have deliberately decided, make sure it was on one of my hard drives. I can't find it. I'll find it. Or your video say, oh, what is the Kevin Tailor no Boasini? Now, no, what is the Kevin Tailor Nika or Boasi MC 170 in Yaba? No, dear Tia Cambo say, Monko for Vina, maybe a gentle and even a Makona, but I'm say, hey, a way, no fee. Monkan say, and the NDC albino, Chen Coco, our Shanty region. Na San Cocona or Mocheno, Yapasia the boy Mebuno, no musu enye Jumaye, into one question free crying. Na onko eye omo mo chenko kona Greek ministry no mo fa bi nkoboase
abusiafo ye mo bibia kwaba asem no adu headquarters Kevin Tailor edina no atum na yini mendro a echi di happen ye efa ye King Ofori Atta mo ekwachi no because of the renewal of the visa or the United States of America. Kevin Tailor akasa ediafa hwanye no kwa 7th of January 2026 and exactly 1 year you rajon mahamani NDC for more dinu ewa aban and Kevin Tailor can be especially the policies are omo ebaye so far so good omo edi egu akwan mo any how omasha so moshishe man now propose a lot of proposals and I say policies be ochiremu a senka ban no ema omani ko hodo na omo eye ho adwuma ebeboa ama ban no so aye popular enye no kwa GPRTU for ochiremu a omunti petrol so omunti asintuade so that is lord fair although say petrol bo akofom but omunti so ehonsem so akwadru headquarters opanyini di na no atum nso wakasa bebre ewo ho yenko na yenti nsema ora no ka nsem bebre na oka edifa meslo so do comment betum bo bra opposition ekoso na wa like na wa share na foforo eye bia hwe na ekoba na kan na ebeto so o yen platform edi amawusia yenti nseni bi ekoba beto so.
This is 1 year ago, don't forget. Oh, this is 2024. This is 2024. Sanko from the NPP mu ending United TV so Patricia Piejane num kankan aberwa poso Jimmy kikan kwasesem no. They saw all these things and they were all happy about it. So don't underestimate the NPP. We are making progress as a nation. Ye ni eje ye hu say ende ahemfo I say geni omo respect back. Ahemfo a for 8 years na ye bu omo nimtia ye di omo atamusie ye the gestures e bu omo nimtia and they are gaining their respect again and otumfo pia ohun say aban bia ba e mani buo at a point ye nyina ye hu ye enimtia atanie ene edien enimtia ye di bu otumfo say tutu because ekufo de hu so ya chimini and otumfo said to pia he's bold. He's bold to speak his mind. At a point, ya tamkra tabe show two for him say, kasei, kasasei, galam say koso, kase en koso. At a point, or hine ponte sa ne kufuado ability asante hine. We need to understand. The enkofo we are no. Enise Ghana ni biya krampo ti omo. We can have problems as a nation. We can be in a position where we will struggle as a nation. But there will be nothing a dangerous chance say Oma NPP chance to lead Ghana. There will be a deep sense because that is the breaking point. Now I share John Mahama 1 year. Neshe Ekufuado ne Bawumia 80 years. And we are Ghana in our team and Nigeria. Just do the comparison and ask yourself, say, I didn't know we see it is you and I see a real fear. What? So I didn't say CBM. don't forget. So who more TV so, who more TV so, who more radio so, who ba omia, me say sit down, tnase, Kennedy Japan, ba omia, Brani Champon, omo mudi omochi nyina, sa ankofo no mni Ekufuado de ba omia, ebre yesu. These are the same people. What is nipa fufuro bia beka ho? The same group of murderers, dangerous political insects. You're very careful. They are building kakray. Right now, when we say people are investing in Ghana, people are now beginning to have confidence or maimu, and the amount for the musika share or mainimu or munsuru, and the boggers were broached to me at the sika beshe Ghana mu. We should not make a mistake. Niantam Ghana and San Fama NPP. So we nipe bia boni anko mu di Ghana no anka election 2028 ko anka some kase omo person be contest it, but they feel say ye Jimmy, they still see us say we are still stupid. They don't respect us. They think say the omdi ye nyina no just 4 years ye refi intiende no, they have all gone back. Ekufuado a direct omo, Ekufuado as redirect omo munko di ba omiechi na yen samra na jankroma amra na gabi ochida akomra na bedi etuomra na onu Ekufuado no entumi manipulate eyedien bawomia na omon sambe take over, because right now they are wounded, they are pained. Adebia na also mo ya mo kwan no, they have issues with us, and right now moba bima is just to take our head off. Etna krom ha $52 million and over yedi to amena judge for dan ye butugu ye na nse me ba akra bibia na judges ne te bibia na first CDS of Ghana military te ye bubu dan ni nyina e de amankofo AC NPP for AC dan was so. I was in Ghana, I was watching all these things. Yetna krom ha. Let us not forget easily. Yene John Mahamani and this yatna 1 year. We should see the difference. We should not forget. Mama ma yere mfie ho. All right. Now, mama yemfa enhihye so.
Akuyecha metetafo na me baton fish. Ewo asafo market. Ya me be wan wo hwe me. Da bia no pa me so dia oyem tema me. Awia ne ama me eto afufu anwuma so ne asebo me. Efiri se dum so ba me ba no fish adaka duasa ne akoto agu kwa. Eti na me ba no wonya sika ma me na me de didi. Efira no pa me ba me ni di yo. Eno anis bodo se hwan. Ana me du han ma to bi die. Me ba nya sika ma me wo bo se ante. Se di adwuma no nya dum so yi. Abro wa de me na ye nyira firi dum so. Me ti asi me dem me sum ho. Ne mu ya ansa me da fom birim. Mama adai adiani aye maya wa abro wanti wo ma me wanti se me a. Mama mi huna ma ni sei. Me te me we demonstration me kon ma kwa kama sam so a kire mama.
That was Ekuyecha, NPP Communications Director, Ashanti Region, saying omutie omuye dangerous. Obetumi su 1 hour na ni nsuo ba akombae. Osu ekum. We cannot forget. Let's not forget ourselves. Very important. Now, today in history, at a point in this country, at a point, in Kofowe ekotam boba eto boba $2 million. Boba every Israel meyere oye Jew ni into technically Yesu oye makonta meyere ohu Yesu obega say hello no wetwam enkofo we tam Ghana sika $2 million etam boba just a stone enom no be sha menem enom say onyankopon ebisi cathedral enom wiaye. This happened and Ekufuado. Don't underestimate these people. We are dangerous people. Satama no yesade we know na on see one senior high school on Baumia. They promised the people 350 senior high schools. Time na okotoboba we 2 million on Baumia okotoboba we $2 million no. Na on see one senior high school or Ghana one. Na on see it. Na on be one factory emfa nipa bakum. Na Commander Sugar Factory na Air Pro. He did not touch it. Time okotoboba we 2 million. na police for, soldier for, navy for, prison officers, na mo pe baby ada, na segleme pro. He did not care. Time okoto boba we buy na dollar as we speak, na dollar nam almost 14. He didn't care. Okoto boba we buy na schools under trees, na nkwalati nuase. Time okoto boba we buy no, na free SHS, na nkwala nye duane ndi. Your papa bi your bon video ebri ne ba wuye all because eduane a na ye de man kwara no enkwara almost be 100 ne wu in the past 8 years for the president and a free SHS no mu feed enkwara no with dog meat. This is chicken feed, dog food. Okotobo ba $2 million. Private jet na kofa bae. We were talking about Sata Motoba we no na la General Hospital no mo buogu from Okoboy in Krani Abrantie otumisha G string no wa she tight jeans eguso no wa she boot bema menene corporate sec Okoboy otumisha G string na ne hwa dan chen wa jeans mu no wa she tight jeans no wa she boot de nam Ghana ni krom for Enkran for hospital General Hospital na Satan we buatuogu. People were dying. La Dadi Kotopon area mbanyem no mu pe baby awo no mu nyebi no omu wu no akotobo ba $2 million on the baomia. This is not a joke. This is a man ne man nyina nko school wo Ghana. Baomia ne banko SS da. He does not understand say ya frau say oba wo SS wayare bibi to no baomia on tiasie. He does not understand. Baomia ne banko SS da. Enti se obi wo free SHS mu na se obra baomia ntiase enti otumi gina bonten se oh me ba be digitize free SHS eduane. He does not even feel it. He does not understand the psychological part of what the kids were going through. He saw everything as politics. Mature reality no. Odeboba we ebe to what $2 million. Now I catch us obesi agenda 11 hospitals. The same $2 million buy you know. Na Sewia hospital is swoma a bad time omo santimemu omo nyema omo tumi pon no mo wu. That time no na Ofori military hospital na e was okobia no okoto boba $2 million on ba omia na sa Ofori no eguoma equipment e wom no na e pro. The same time okoto sa de boba $2 million no na Otumfo said to patchow we bunko today ewo from one city. So or the quiet comfort not here. Nanado dan kweku for did not care. Asante for do omu sa 8 years anka Sewia Ofori betumi save o mabrabo no anko omoda ho tiase no na over 2,000 they all died. Na papa we koto boba one ba womia. This is the reality. This is governance. The defect na sebio ekrodukom no ena make sure me man aye easy amount. Don't underestimate these people. Fremont Pare akaka no di 100 years. Ekufuado akaka no di 100. Shema mugina ono akora. These are the same people. Canada Japan kwasi ampenyi we. Omuko jisika ne ba ne de ne share mana no de ne kwasi ati TV so kontokwa. No jina parliament ye brofo no onte ase de oya ne say ye kwasi ampenyi we no so die chire. This is what they do. They are foolish men and women. They don't care about anybody. Hey, what is the Kennedy Kema? Kennedy Kema because they see Kebina Kim. I am telling you, Kennedy onimi nyansa obetuma tena krata ho akenkan ate ase akase me besem le chichire man. No. Only that intellectual know only endru ho. And these are people with a lot of defects in their brains. But Omia Kasana utie na, it's like a child. Menka say he's like a child. It's like a child. You ask yourself, what is going on? You can see clearly say they saw a hole. Omu who say Tokrobia beda Ghana politics. So from 2008, Omu who Tokro say let us go into the Tokro was created and then a Tokro beda ho no atro jandam and a create sa opportunity ma sankofo ebenya to me in 2016 eye tokro and the any idea no a bomber omo dangerous people and omo jai sa anyoma nyina aka. They don't want to talk about it because someone will say Jimmy, they think we have forgotten everything. They think say ye refi ye nia paso into almost saba with some kind of idea be kasabi and say ye Jimmy which because obi wi usika ne na say ochino na osa de sika to na owia it means say first time na ochino no ohun say okrampo no sika na ochino no wana ankasa nkrampo no unni ebufuo wana unnim nyansa mpa obebusa ne sa de ntino for sika and they be encouraging the man say abaye de abewiaw and that is why they are encouraged. They are taking what we call inspiration from the damage na omoye no boni na omudi ye no sebio yenye omohwe no ene na omonya inspiration from say ye Jimmy na nke ye den na nkende sankofo otumi tena TV so ka accountability asem eden NPP etumi ye press conference eka se obi awia de eden NPP etumi ye press conference etumi ka se Ghana NPP yeah they are not any creative opportunity Emma Kronfu from NPP to win power 2014 2012 2013 2014 15 they are not any creative room ma e refuo we Ekufuado de one baomia Ekufuado yanto amande so obewu nyanse da ne trim hwe baomia yeso economist hwe eyi bia waye yesi ade osiga na sika no oba ene ye de ya no ene jimifo ehu se ye weakness no yete asema yenya abotre na yentie nkosi na emusa se no kura wom yenye saa na nse na ya start sua se yebebusa nsem first yemusa nsem kwasi ampenyi bi efra brochire boss a doctor kwasi ampenyi bi efra brochire boss a lawyer kwasi ampenyi bi efra brochire boss a economist. We don't ask questions, we don't probe, we don't find out whether they have psychological some issues. We just allow them to come in almost be friend titles na obi nim say ato forcing born and bred infantini ba Kwame Abuja born and bred Ghana ni ba obi to say Kofi Boa. These people obi to say Okujato Ablakwa obi to say Sam George obi to say Sami Jemfi. Did we know say at a point these people and the likes they will move Ghana from where it was to head? It is shocking, right? It is. We never attach yamfa titles and tariwo you say ordinary people, but see the way our governance abaye transparent governance abaye easy. They are not having things rosary and yet easy sir. But it is about they letting you people mama tia say omo ye Ghana 47. Ken Ofori Atta in 2009 owia Ghana Senate sika edi Ghana Senate obie obotan kind of Ponzi scheme edi dupi Senate Ken Ofori Atta eko baye etna Ghana esa rebranding ya no our mouth ye musansem Ken Ofori Atta ko baye no oshe white yetina krom ha nanado danko ekufuado oko school wo hefa owie wo hefa ni certification wo hefa ya ma ye kwan ma ye mbuse ekufuado any question Kwame Sefa kan to meet na radio so no we protect ekufuado Kwame Sefa kan say ekufuado drug addict onim say ekufuado certificateless man onim say the man is being cooked for us and so Sefa kan Egbert Fable Kweku Baku Paul Adumochiri these political insects because the Omubenyanti they cooked a stinking dead meat for us and nobody share your con. Oh Bawomia, ye wuni suni pada. Who thought to say you bet me drew and the NDC at the dollar before 17 about drew 10. GDP ever drop it to this point. Interest rate, inflation, single digit inflation in a year. Massa. Let us not make one single mistake. Hey? Governance, politics, a common sense. Debi ametena me say yenya politics of interest. Na now the danko for the NPP abechere say we need to do politics of interest. And then the deɛ yɛka ho asɛm yɛto aba no ɛwɔ sɛ ehu sɛ ɛbɛ benefit yɛ intimate ɔboase na meto aba ma aban a ɔba a ɔse ɔbɛ make sure sɛ boase na mete no menya mfasoɔ bi afiri na aban mu ɛyɛ politics of interest na yɛyɛ because NPP for na bɛkyerɛ sɛ they came into office because of interest. Sɛ Adwoa Safo ekotena Aburukyire almost 2 years. And they Kufuado under Bawumia. Adwoa Safo. Then she got on TV and started slanging villagely. Adwoa Safo we adane na ho aye ne sese de bie kokusu wa Cambodia. Ebe ka kire se ye ne Jimmy. Yendi Bawumia chi na ono ne Bawumia mra power. Let's get serious as a people. De biano kasa bebre no ana mebuse ho say yembuse ho say adan ye lose your senses ana. Ye nim nyansa biom he ohene obi a wo Ghana ni bia bedi adanse say you might take it, you can decide to opa memfa. I don't give a heck because Ghana for nyansa for no know what is happening. Ghana ni bia nim say galam say as we speak today, it is not as worse as before. Ghana funim. There has been serious, tremendous development and progress in the fight against illegal mining. Ejuma NDCA, sanke kufuado mo ye 10% anka baby ana galam say die kodru nki yendru ho. You can decide to say, otimase, I don't care, but the fact still remains. And we need a government all born homoding. Yeah, we don't need a perfect government too. Yeah, abanya e born homoding. What you born homoding? You who say born homoding? Yensu ye be kayo, yensu ye be boao. Finished. A Ghana for pe abanya e born homoding. You can see the president is committed. Or born homoding. Oh ye bibia say ohumbe hinhao. Me ba bronya e Ghana. I saw the joy in the eyes of Ghanaians. And you'll be on the Whisker of Ghana. And you'll be on the Tumitomo. And you'll be on the Tumitako. But there's something in there. There was some joy in there. There was some hope. And that is what we are talking about. O my chichire. Eye jidie eni ejuma ding eni ade chichire mine. America for drew her because no more believe no and no more say hard working. That is all that we need. Inti, Mama may rain fear one term. Met match show, Omomudi Kennedy Japan chi, Omomudi Baomi chi, Omomudi Comne Japan chi, Omomudi Kentre chi, Omomudi Sankwas Nechi. They are the same people who did us damage. Trauma na ye komuno, Sankofu we are. Now, Menoka say, as we speak, lower fuel prices. Not enough for fare reduction yet. Ghana Private Road Transport Union. Yes, say GPRTU for say, even though petrol boako formono omudie informo ho. And I advise the government and I advise investors. This is the time the government needs to veer into their private, their public transportation. I think say I will say abino estate investing in buses. Making sure that we have enough public transportation in Ghana. I think it's about time. Because your uncle of mining more upon all that is happening, still politics, still pettiness, still the government should take the initiative. If the government is going to engage 5 people who have money to collaborate with the government or partner the government to invest in public transport more, I think this nonsense will stop. We cannot have a small association that determines prices, even when determines fares, even when fuel prices come down. No, we cannot have. This country is too big to have just GPRTU holding the country at ransom and determining, say, price back from and say from. No. So we need to change our ways now. And because by this time, GPRTU one of the unrecognized associations in Ghana. Because we knew you may be on here. So Kenya individuals say are buying any investors about together said they are going to bring more buses, partnering with the government, and the government at the end of the day Sebio or taking a little bit of the cost and making public or government transportation easier. And because I'm quite some GPRT Association of Drivers, they can good. Because why did they even have the power to even say petrol walk off from so what the heck is GPRTU? Bas Papa Ben Pa and a GPRTU they see a Ghana a coin so a save Ghana for lives. GPRTU yet can they point to their own buses that are helping this nation? No, they don't even have buses. Inventory there were 10,000 buses. They run in the name of GPRTU. They are just registering people's cars and say we are taking money from you. That's what they are doing. GPRTU is extorting from drivers. GPRTU. Into registration. They don't do anything. It's about time the government engaged. So government person be engaging the private sector. The government should invest in public transport. If the government can build good roads, then the government can invest in good vehicles to make sure say access to buses in Ghana. If we are able to get a lot of access to government buses, prices not ever decent enough. You will see people coming out with better ideas. GPRTU is a cake. They have left it's a useless association. A dear partner, we are driving near Oshemia, GPRTU pa a yama driver for. A dear partner, oh, ya tise BBSC, inti, ya pese ya bekasa, ngwasya samsa, appetition for nkwa. And I think it's about time government started getting bold in taking some decisions. We, even the people at the point, might not understand or might push back a little bit, but at the end of the day, it will benefit us. Because Abani decided, say, it wants to invest in public transport. Every region, Abani said, I am going to make sure I get 5,000 buses for every region. 5,000 buses. Half of those buses are all the EV buses. Government brings in the buses. They get the people who want to run it. They sign agreements with them about maintenance and all these things. Those people are supposed to make sure the buses are in good condition. If the government does not want to take the burden of maintaining and doing that, the government can bring the buses in and qualified companies can come in for the buses. And then what happens is that the revenue, either the government gets 70%, those investors get 30%. And kariketi buses, buses, and can the nipa point juma 6, I'll be 6:30. Because then there will be point juma 6, 5:30. No, I could do 10. All because I was so costa line. GPRT kwasi am paying be one more petition. Be say we are not supposed to allow some associations to monopolize our transportation. No. You trust our point, whereby a mere association monopolizes or determines fares of cars, even though petrol prices were formed. No, we have gotten to that point where a government should be able to operationalize or operate the transportation system to the benefit of the people. It's a buying for buses, Nembra. If government doesn't want to take that burden, because we have seen what has happened to Metro Mass, whereby when we hand it over to a government, the monitoring, the supervision, it is not as effective. Now, what we can do is bring the buses in, get investors or people who are willing to operate it. Now, we tell them this is government bus. Even though your company is going to run this bus, 30% of the proceeds comes to you, 70% comes to the government. Maintenance, maybe you split with the government, or if you want to do the maintenance, you will take 35% of the revenue. If you can't do it, walk. This is not a time where people are supposed to make so much money out of government. This is the time government has to be judicious in sharing the resource. So I think if the government decides to go to Asia and speak to some of these companies, they'll be willing to give us 20,000 buses, 50,000 buses to make sure every single part of this nation, the municipal assemblies can run these buses, add it to their internally generated funds, and then at the end of the day, they are audited for us to know how much we are making from these buses. So we can break it down into small pieces. We can start the bus transportation from municipal. Government give municipal assemblies the buses. Government makes sure the municipal have the maintenance part of it. Now, what happens? And they say, if somebody wants to run those buses, they will deal with the municipal assembly. So every municipality, they know their buses they are running. At the end of the year, the internal auditors will do, and the auditor general himself will audit them. We will know if the buses are deteriorating. We know who to hold accountable. That is what we do. We need to break governance down into small bits. When we do it like that, we can decentralize governance. We don't have to have GPRT who tell me, say, anti-petrol. So now a government worker, civil servant, teacher ni, police ni, ako jina bank, ashe bank to 5 p.m. or pe car keke ako fie, a 30 minutes drive. Now we jina na another 4 hours. How are you going to kill corruption? How are you going to help the people? The transport minister needs to be proactive. And this GPRTU nonsense thing, we need to start getting rid of them. Almost slow your transportation system down. Guys, let's get proactive. Let's start thinking. Let's start breaking governance down into small bits. We have made governance too huge. And it's not any Breno. We have made governance too big. Let us simplify governance. Obakroma, your county, your state, your federal. Let us try and break governance down. Let us make it easy. And this nonsense will never happen. Say there is a transportation group. No, you cannot. Inti senka yo bibisa anka GPRTU entum ba bontin beka say yati petrol. So what's your problem with petrol yati so ada yatum? What's your job? GPRTU for majuma nkasa pa ne den. GPRTU for inti police ni akotena bank 5 hours. Police ni akotena bank 5 hours. Ope car free circle ako oyarefa. Na wako jina ho 4 hours. Unim the uniform no be. Do you know what he's going to use his uniform for? Or the uniform no be intimidate in for any the opportunity to extort them or to get access to cars to go home. Do you know the number of police officers in Ghana? Do you know the number of custom officers in Ghana? Do you know the number of uniform officers in Ghana? So it trickles. Make life easy for the people. And then also a buying can collaborate with individuals in the country. Now, I'm say a constituency, and I say a municipality biano. Say you decide to say municipality bia 20 buses, government buses. Now we make sure the municipal chief executive and his team, it is your responsibility. These buses, they'll be subsidized. Say trotro for just 7 cities, almost just 3 cities. But make sure that the maintenance of the bus is on point. Internal audit needs to happen, and then Auditor General's department itself needs to audit them. Now, when we do that, the same people can use the buses to generate internal funds. That internal funds, about 30% should go into the maintenance of the buses. That is how you run a nation. Into some municipality, bia 50 buses. Because petrol bafoma, government worker, he's not worried. Ekosura, he's not worried because the government has been able to subsidize it to a point whereby onimse osoriano pankwandia obenya abain bus afwa kwedjuma. The student na OGS himself of public bus abain bus na ya engine ska. It makes everything easy. And people are spending so much money. Yetuma akora ketekete 40 Ghana so onko school. 30 Ghana budget lorry fare. The government can bring in more buses, and your say from class 1, class 2, all the way to class 6 or JSS 1, you can take public bus. So it makes things easy, and this is not complicated because the buses are working to make money, and a buying has to have percentages. Percentage where IGF percentage where it needs to go to federal. Send a between the boa sustain petrol na yedema mo to do this job. No, so as it can be the better. That's all. The people want to be easy. They want to have easy life. Create it for them. Now, interest rates and the Bank of Ghana Governor Kasa. And interest rate set to decline further as Ghana reference rate for January drops to 15.68. Unim interest rate what you say? Wow, shame was swami. So okobo anako bank koji loan anako ji loan obebia time ana Bawumia also ye economist ene Akufo-Addo was no na ehun ensi ho no eye oha nchichemu eduasa baako to eduasa mienu 32%. Time ana Bawumia ene Akufo-Addo NPP wo power no na ukoji loan o banka na eye insihu ewo ho oje 100 Ghana insihu na ewo ho no na eye oha nchichemu eduasa mienu na ye 32%. In less than a year, John Mahama etumi atisa insihu na ewo eye den besia no ho into wako eye bank bi akwaje besia se odukofa nyoma e Dubai odukofa nyoma o Togo odukofa ntoma and Akufo-Addo no na ubetua oha mu nchichemu eduasa echire pomienu ansana wonsa aka eye den loan no ansana wotumetua loan no de tare ho no ende NDC are buying in less than a year omo twemu mienu ende okobo besia o banka eye oha nchiche eye oha nchichemu edionum echiri po insiane wotwe 15.8% watemu mienu and Bank of Ghana governor say ebesa kra kofom ebetume dumbre bi na okoji loan a eye insihu e wo ho no ebebe eye de oha nchichemu dupe 10%. That is governance. Enti abasa na dipa bebre di djuma omo mboka because the ema edwadifo boka no eye besia no ehun sihu eye the interest on the loans ene na ma eye de edwadifo eboka because edwadini ekoje 100,000 Ghana na also betua 30,000 Ghana every month sa odwadini no bibi kitu bi sipe ebeko eye ni dwetrem enti na eka no emene no ende sa eye insihu no abai we ba so no watinsihu ne so manaba form. Meaning say science munanka ebeba abewura eye udwetire mu eye o capital mu no science mu no yate so we na oban into people say aban we by dey na waye sa dey we e save millions of businesses anka ndwuma bebre wo Ghana ende kejetia kotokraba asafo kofodua emba omugumalata ene ede Accra market anka mu nyine dwuma dudu na dwuma egu this alone ende nipa bi da omutumi da. If you say, eye insihu e wo mo besia no ya twem mienu amana bafom when you friend o man chichire you are helping the ordinary Ghanaian. When you friend helping the ordinary Ghanaian, your policies and your decisions enti ubuso bi o say aban we ba enye hwe enso na sebio ni nua be ma bi okokwan so no and the nua be ma ni BP na ba form if you say bank na etwe no and the bank na friend ka chen say sia de insi ho no Bank of Ghana teso nti yen sanka ne biem na yen teso ama ne dwuma no because anka wontumi ante sansi ho no so a anka ende nyoma na okofa no e Japan ba abosukan no anka egu and when your friend say o chichire mine it don't underestimate this. Papa we or your Bank of Ghana governor or boy Juma, he's not joking. So we're checking the records for the past 1 year. Interest rate, inflation. We're checking a year. Nyoma bia odie gugwa kwemu. Ni okroma and under NPP, under Bawumia, under Addison. Bank of Ghana board ka 60 billion. Yebusa se sika ne fa he. Obi antuma maya answer bi sin ne. 60 billion. Na omutwa sika over 60 billion gum. Na sebio usum abrewa baby okoto de fa ho ben. De na Ghana fo nyina pay free NPP won say menya economist. Mini akwansema nya economist. Akosi aboate nya economist. Mo na mo se mo ye aban mu nipa, mo ye government, mo ye politicians. Send ebe ya bema me ho atome no ene na hia me because metua me to. Na metua me to infie wotwe. Na me ye eyi obi a me kofa nyoma o Japan kofa engines. Na eba edien loan a mekoje no bank insimu no kwa na ekosra na edien nyansa pa na wo a obetumi akekere man no. I don't care how they do it. I don't care how the governor drops the interest rate as far as it is not destroying Nkrofo Djuma amanfo dwetire enhye no. That is what I care about because omo eneka so betuma ye djuma no we mu na ka kire say ye mo mutumi a omo the dollar no be 1780 to 10 and there oma ye eno na hia me omo ka kire say ye de djuma no ma omo a omo betumi de gold no omo de emrafo fro beba e betumi aboa magana esika se megina ne na so omo ye I don't care. So what problem with it? That is your problem. My problem is I gave them an assignment and are they delivering? They are. That's all. I'll keep them in power until they start not to deliver on the assignment. That's when I start to question their competence. Into me maujuma 8 years. na say when to men deliver masa media results na mehwehwe. It is not about your titles, it's not about baby alcohol school, it's not about who you are affiliated to or with. What I care about is give me my results. And these people are giving us the results. Let's not see this as a joke. Omani na ye chichire no, amanfo ho hiha omo pa. And your cause say ani aso eboa. Sa aban ne de nhihye bi ba. Oh, munim bibi. Moma yemfa kakrambra ebia eye etwo we mbra na entumi meboa wo ha. Se yehu sa aban ne ye adwuma ye tuato na emfa ye ho. Ekuro bia ni wiase ye geto chen America ni UK. Na so abete se obi gina street kwemu eye demonstration side na wotuato. Because ni nsuoba ne kan ye gina so ne kwan ye edwuma a onye biye oye dwadini a ne sika enhye. That is what the people need. Ekura yeje etwo omu kese America any UK any nkura kese no nkura yeje tax akese pa no omunye demonstration busa hu se adentra na de bia oba America omunye demonstration about their lights, their roads, their it is because omunye to na so omu di kura mfa obi aho because omu bo adwuma no. And that is what we need to learn. It is aban bo adwuma na se aban ede nyansa kwan so ene ahobrasemu ekere se sisi aya ye adwuma kodum pempensuo bi ye behia eto bi so ede abeka eye de sika aya gege no ho na aboa ma we ayi se a me ni problem etua because at least be hu se to na betua no ye mfa nkofa mikimil ma ne benum wi enum jot e wo Jubilee House ye mfa sa sika ne nkofa private jet be kufu adu kobo jantina wo ye mfa sika no enkom ekufu adu ne busuafo Ofori Atta gabi ochedakon ba omia ne yire enfo private jet enko sa kunkum bagia no inti ano no oka se mintua to a mebubefu but se minsi oba se meka ne agina so se me kwan mehu se aboja eye se mehu se galamsey no eye den kofibu a eko atofo sin ebo adwuma ema interest e ba form inflation e ba form president nso e kire penyindie ene nyansa ye de kekere ema ne nkofo ne bo adwuma adentina ka se memetua 1% eye levy bi ne emfa nya bibia mentua metua because I know it is going to benefit me. And that is governance. And that is what aban we eye. And that is why people like us, we are supported because you too kwan ye nkurase for. Nyoma ye hu na abrochire nyina eye to ne de. Adekudie ntia abrochire ene America for ne bia de ni nyina ne se omo hu eto no ehu dwuma edi. Ende insawom ni poku ase kwan egina ne naso adentra eye aban no aye na adwene se ode eto no be hye dwuma nim. Nkro ene enkwan bebre wo Ghana ye no eye eto na aban gi no aban we endi woto aban we endi wusika aban we kire wo se eto na megigi no medi ibu adwuma yenso ye ni tua ye hu de ekọ aban we se osa be ye express road de o ye nti express road no oba no ka se ntua kakra nka won yemfanya metua efri se gawuto ganata meni tioma yendi njame mehu de ekoso nsawom mehu de ekoso kumase kwan so mehu eye de small roads aban ye. That is how we have confidence in governance. Enti aban se nipa beji aban dia eye de aban ebeye. And what this government is doing, or my more confidence to believe in it, and that if this government needs our help, we will have no option to help the government. Enya brofo enye kasachole enye dien it's about being conscious in what you're doing, and this president and this government, they are showing enye easy mo sao na meka bibinchiro nyoma na ye hunu na nsen a yate aduane so yate petrol so Samuel John Abuginapo am yate light so idebia enye easy. You need people who can think. Senka easier akakere Japan na nkwasi afoi ba omia na ejimi foi komo tumi yeye. Enough from you need people who can crack, who can think, who can be selfless. That is the first thing. Aban we have a power. 1 year chum ama 1 day abeto so aban we NTC can koto cars. Nana do dan kweku for about power. Cars obeto your parking nyina koto Lexus, fleets of Lexus, or to be 200. Or sato cars or to luxury cars. Aban we have a power 1 year until can koto car. Now, unima de papa chain John Mahama. Unima de papa chain Siama. Unima de papa chain to forcing. Unime we are chain omo. But they are looking out for you people. It is making sure the people get what they want. Eye juma de show monsano. Omo deliver sa ejuma. That is the most important thing. Now, and John Mahama echo GBC. For a very long time, you're president always so calm and easy and easily relatable. John Dramani Mahama actually, or the governance I could do some level B. Level not the governance I could do no. You're not careful. Ebedum Pempensuo bino said John Mahama and the NDC in the power. We might revolt as a nation. Yeah. For 1 year away, John Mahama de waye. And the way he's presenting himself, the way he's making governance so easy and accessible. Say, you're not very careful. Now you're bumping my MDC antenna power. Ama John Mahama and yet also now yes, science Santa ma one shot we will revolt because it will be very difficult to get the characteristics and the qualities of John Mahama and appointees from the NPP. It will be very difficult. And the money dangerous and they say when we taste good governance for about 12, 16, 24 years, that's a tia cha. Say no money na say things are done right. And na John Mahama kano. When the NDC is able, so to me at the Nyoma CCA for the next 40 years, a buying for banda e fumpe, it is easy for us to kick them out. And right now we are testing good governance. There is no fear. We are starting to believe, say, at least Ghana form Ghana home. Say a mistake. That's a 8 years, 12 years. We might revolt because this group of political termites or more MPP, they don't understand what being a president, being a leader. Mahmoud Bawumia, he's not a man. Kennedy is not a man. And when we say somebody is not a man, and your baby Sebio ne bema tietia and I say ebia Sebio ni Jimmy, it is about how they are able to look through and see through their issues. It is about how you are able to look through and see through issues. Nana Dankwa Ekufuado is blank when it comes to being proactive. He's very blank. Yeah? But Bajim Bankwan the bit mama sanyansa no take effect beboye. Yenyina enim nyansa. Obi a ohwe me bia enim nyansa. Obi a NPP enim nyansa. Obi a NDC enim nyansa. But the issue, the thin line between nyansani and the Bajimba no say, Bajimba no tumi fa nyansa no na wadane no ama no tumi be benefit eye or no ene ne nkofo. It is not easy. John Mahama echo eye GBC. And the GBC boss Al Hassan Ekache John Mahama say we need to restructure GBC to meet the demands of the digital world. Now, this man, when he was talking to the president as the director of GBC, or making some astonishing statement to be at a point. Time on the president take us or see. And just let's go listen to him. The
third issue I want to bring, and that is probably the one that gives us a lot of sleepless nights, Your Excellency, is the issue of legacy debt from ECG and NEDCO. First of all, currently we have been forced to pay it, but I want to make it clear that those debts were not generated by GBC alone. In the past, when there were no difference between government agencies, the military, the police, national security all positioned their equipment on GBC locations and were drawing power from the same source as GBs. So when it came to a time to install meters, these meters were installed in the name of GBC and they started accumulating debt with GBC. So when we brought it to their attention, these state agencies simply disconnected and found alternative source. But they had accumulated a few years of debt for GBC to pay. We've currently been paying it this year. We've paid 5 million of it. Currently, we have outstanding of 13.6 million cedis. We are simply requesting and appealing that the government takes care of the legacy debt because we are currently dealing with our current bill. We make sure that we take care of our bill. but the legacy debt is drawing us back. Now, our prayer is that if that is taken care of, it will allow GBC to expedite its action on green energy. With collaboration with the BBC, we currently have solar systems at Ajankote transmission site, and we depend 30% on solar and 70% on national grid. At Takoradi, we have also installed solar, and we are currently spending 50% on solar, 50% on national grid. And if the responsibility of the legacy debt is taken over us, we sincerely believe that we can speed up the process of using IGF to do.
So this is the director of GBC, and then someone can say, "I am the director. My better GBC, and I'm Mr. President. A cabia net daho for light bills near the day. Those times no na police for soldier for near the day no mobaha no use a light nibi. Into my cabin daho. Into yedi it meet you 5 million. Into Mr. President, a buying muntia sa canet dahono. This man is a man who is working for government, and he's telling government to pay data or no ebetoye. Now, you see the problem we have in Ghana, and I'm so disappointed in the president because this man should have been sacked the first day the president came to office. GBC director, no? And I know GBC workers had series of demonstrations against this daft man. This man should have been sacked long time. He's a waste of time. He's corrupt. He's a liar, a double-faced liar. And where Oyenkrebonia, with all due respect, on Kanokre. Now, you see, the problem I have with these people, and I say, when they are made managers, directors, they come on board with no ideas. They don't come to inherit institutions to change the face of institutions. They don't come with any new idea. The reason why people are appointed as directors, chief directors, they are appointed as CEOs, is for you to bring a new idea to change the status of a institution. Say, Banabedano. Now, if we have directors like this who every single day they are complaining, they are crying, they see the president and tell the president, they say, Mr. President, the cat, police for DB, military for DB, no munyina mobaha, no mu you see a light in B, inti ma abaintia, abainben intia sakano. You are very incompetent and very ignorant to make that statement. Hey? Senka, some way, Papa, we catch the president, no? Senka, America, or catch Donald Trump, and that dinner, Donald Trump says, resign. Yeah. You want the president to come to GBC to visit you before the problems at GBC can be solved? You don't deserve to be there. You don't deserve to be there. And I never just say, we entertain, and I'm so disappointed in the president and this government for keeping this man at the GBC. I think this government, they don't want to help GBC. They still want GBC to be a tiana. Me assure say aban we say don't say because aban we were idea for the best of the boy GBC. Your national television now. The people who have been there, then to me share all African games for Ghana. No, these are not people who are supposed to be there. No, if you say you are resetting a nation, people like these are supposed to be fired, Mr. President. Yeah. So the resetting, no, how are we resetting? We are making changes. We are making sure that those who could not deliver, when those people were in power, they are supposed to move. Those who could not deliver, those who could not prove themselves, there are thousands of people who can take this position and turn GBC around. Now, if a president comes to sit before you and you are begging the president, Mr. President, I am a government worker. We work as a government institution. Let government pay our debt. You are insane. You have to be sacked. And such people, they take fat salaries, incentives like I say, big houses, big cars. They are pompous, walking around and behaving as if say nobody can question them. And for a president to come to GBC for you to tell the president, say, yeah, the cat. GBC is supposed to generate money to take care of GBC. Now, if you have become the director of GBC and you cannot generate funds to change the GBC, then you are incompetent to fill that position as a CEO. You know something? This same man, I know for a fact He was in bed with the NPP. He was doing serious campaign with the NPP. And I'm so pissed off with this government for still keeping such a slimy liar still at GBC. GBC is not making any money. The nonsense and the audacity from this man to tell the president, say, yeah, the government should pay. Government no wine. Government, who is government? This is GBC, the nation's television, national television. You are supposed to generate money. You need to crack your brains, foolish man. You cannot crack your brains. You cannot create any different ideas to make GBC look different, to make GBC make money. You foolishly sit there and wait for the president to come. You look in the president's face and say, I am being paid. I am taking allowance. I am flying out of the nation. I am getting all the incentives. Mr. President, pay our debt for us. Are you foolish? You are supposed to be sacked. Hey, man, way, or you're one corrupt Muslim, or you're munafiki, also nyankopon twena so asase we so. This is the same man when we were working so hard to tell Ghanaians, say, Nanado Dankwe Kufuor ne ba umiamo, they are corrupt. They are destroying the nation. This is the man who was making calls for my platform to be shut down. Such a fool. This fool, on one gasa kan won enum asem say ai na owusrem e na oye sala e na imam bia na one ne won masala chika chen say me kohwe Kevin Tailor because time aso Kevin Tailor ba oba be expose the NPP for oba be yes scandal oba be kan okre na kire me imam no na se ne be ye nyina betuma boa etu abanbone no sa kwasiampan we ba akra. He was worried. He wanted Asla Owusumo to shut me down. This foolish man. How can such a fool, Mr. President, be entertaining such a fool? This guy wish you never became president.
But it should have been more. We have can control it, but direct to home, outside your borders or inside your borders, but it will hit have merged. And when you are home and you are running to, now I will illustrate one example why this conversation matters. About 2 years ago, up in Tamale, after the evening prayers, I engaged the imam in the chat. Then all of a sudden he told me that, oh, it's time for Kevin Tailor. I'm running home. I said, you have Kevin Tailor on your TV? He said, yes. At that time, I could only access Kevin Tailor on the internet. I didn't know that DTH, Kevin Tailor, was entering Ghanaian homes. I went home, scanned my TV, and there it was, free to my house. I came back to Accra, scanned, it was there. And I remember sending a text message and a screenshot to a very important regulator. All he said was, wow. They commissioned the NCA to find a way to stop Kevin Tailor. They tracked him down. Kevin Tailor went to Nigeria and got a satellite company whose footprint covers Ghana, and currently he's broadcasting to Ghana. So, nowhere, you can't get him. Now, I will illustrate one example why this conversation matters. About 2 years ago, up in Tamale, after the evening prayers, I engaged the imam in the chat. Then all of a sudden he told me that, oh, it's time for Kevin Tailor. I'm running home. I said, you have Kevin Tailor on your TV? He said, yes. At that time, I could only access Kevin Tailor on the internet. I didn't know that DTH, Kevin Tailor, was entering Ghanaian homes. I went home, scanned my TV, and there it was, free to my house. I came back to Accra, scanned, it was there. And I remember sending a text message and a screenshot to a very important regulator. All he said was, wow. They commissioned the NCA to find a way to stop Kevin Tailor. They tracked him down. Kevin Tailor went to Nigeria and got a satellite company whose footprint covers Ghana, and currently he's broadcasting to Ghana. So, nowhere, you can't get him.
This man, that is what he was doing. What was Kevin Tailor doing? Kevin Tailor was exposing the NPP government. This idiot took it upon himself, offered Asla Owusu, and told Asla to shut me down. To get my license to just operate, I spent over $20,000. I was paying $5,000 a month, and I'm still paying to be on multi-TV. I spent $20,000 just to get a license to come and tell Ghanaians that this is what is happening to Ghana. Kwasiampanyi Way came to Accra. He called Asla. Nipana will say he called an operator. He called Asla Owusu. Ofori Osla Uso and Branca Osla say Osla Oshi should find every means to find how I got into Ghana. This man, Kwasiawi, today is standing before John Mahama and telling John Mahama, you know what? We want government to pay our debt. John Mahama, please, with all due respect, sack this fool. These are some of the northerners that you are not supposed to allow around you. Whoever is lobbying for this fool, you need to sack this guy. All to him for editing Embra GBC. Even your manifesto launch, this guy instructed them not to cover your manifesto launch. This fool. Kwasi today, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo was president for 8 years. This man could not look in his eyes to tell him the problems of GBC. And we allow these fools. They draw so much money, big salaries, stupid idiots, and then we give them chance. Because they were benefiting from it. All African games, this foolish man. Don't entertain such a fool in your face. Make somebody who is competent enough to make sure honorable to me the Najine Etia GBC to come and lead GBC. Get somebody who can crack his brains and become the CEO who is innovative enough to create means to pay GBC debt off and also rebrand GBC to become a better national television. Onye bibiano to Kwasiampenyi. Kwasiampenyi ofa phone na offer Osla say on cancel me. I was working to get the NDC to power for Kwasia to sell. And sometimes people sit there and say, who did the attempt? Do you know what we have gone through to get here? We put everything on the line for Kwasiafo to say. Today they are still taking salary. Kwasia man, oh. And you see, when I get angry, there are so many things I don't say on my show. And I'm very disappointed in this government for still keeping this fool at GBC. I'm disappointed. Very, very disappointed. Because more and the money position in our NDC, more and they are from CEOs, you are from ministers, it was because of people like us and those who work so hard to get you power. Now, no more preventing people from getting power, no. And the mobile and these are fools who are not supposed to be taking any positions. I'll come back to his matter. Until this man is sacked, I'm not done with GBC. Me see. Until this man is sacked. And it's not like Obi Hetino. This man is not intelligent enough to be the CEO of the director of GBC. And then I record GBC. Yet Ghana, all African games going to Manchebi, Kwasiampenyi. Yet African Cup of Nations, Yen to Manchebi, Kwasiampenyi. Yet Ghana, local things going to Minkaba, Ofori. The Bena Opea Kemuda, a dirty man. Muna Fiki. Kwasiafo. Me for be I'm telling you people. I've lost a lot of money to get to this point. I've lost a lot. Masa mi bosika, maseno, mashe to get the NDC to power. You'll be shocked. Mi bosika, mashe. Say, mi bosika, mashe in my life. The money I have wasted, spent, money I could have used for my family. Me to me, it is sustaining a production to get NDC back to power. Me catch your best shock you. Now, Now, NDC are buying, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has begun distributing poultry in the Ashanti region under the Nkokon Ketenkete initiative of the Feed Ghana program, aimed at boosting local poultry production, reducing imports, and strengthening food security. National Coordinator Bright Kwajo Demozi says the rollout will support the poultry value chain, create jobs, and improve livelihoods, particularly for youth and women in agribusiness. The NDC government and the Menoka say, almost started in Nkukon Ketenkete, ye che Nkuko wa santimemu. Odiatina. And then who say Obuasi West MP Kweku Kwatin when you throat cancer and Chobewu. Obuasi West MP Kweku Kwatin when you throat cancer. Watch out 2 years ebekuno. Obuasi West MP mekani biemu. Sa akwa no mi dwan che bibi. Mekai say me starting my production 2018. Oshada koye video e Obuasi. Sa video no mahwehwa bi hu me biafa. Oye video. That time I was criticizing him. Not only Obuasi MC. akwaba akuna na wo ho no yefre no get me the name Jimmy bi na sa Jimmy no o date ni nua ba adanse bona thank you na Kweku Kwate o de MP no na konta na ye obuase MC na internally generated fund no na konta no edi na Kweku Kwate nua ba no na o kira de wo obuase Catholic Senior High School na ni nua ba no eye galamsey obuase na Kweku Kwate onie asia meba me obi a mefo obi a ho nchene na ma charge akwawe obuase West MP no we nya throat cancer obewu 2 years time throat cancer ni beku no aboa akwawe in 2018 eko obuase na o ma small boys bi e de camera scene so na o ka kire nkofo say wate Kevin Tailor bi na no de o tie na Kevin Tailor no o ware jantrani kwase awe o Ofori Buase o NPP omo Buase ye jimi nti ne kosa kwase awe de ba Buase be di MP Obuase West ofa koto emma kuronim TV post 3 na we see no the poster bon kwase awe. Sometimes when you people, you hear me go after people, and you're personal, it is because they have deliberately decided, oh my idea, make sure I'm me refie. Kwasia we koye video or Buase. It was on one of my hard drives. I can't find it. I'll find it. Or your video say, oh, what is the Kevin Tailor no Buase ni? Now no what is the Kevin Tailor ni ka Buase MC 170 ni nuaba. Now the tia kwambo say, mo nkofo vi na me yire jantre ni bi na makwa na bochi am say, hey. Until so be who asasi we so. Mene wo Kweku Kwate aboa when you throat cancer and me try am throat cancer ne kuno. Yes, 2 years obewu aboa. Asamo bi na no kan ye no. It is sometimes when people hear me go after somebody, and I'm just say it is because I know me one become here, me count that. That's how I over to my social media and also name nyoma no. Me if I pick up something with me pick it with somebody, there's a reason. Akwa we are there here no. It's where a personal. Me make catch no Kweku Kwate obi kutasika call the one make say a personal. Kwasia. And then when you throw me see me better so obi kutasika and the one it make say yes nipa na be make it on one decision. Akwa we me chiri me meaning ni chen obi a Ghana Kweku Kwate me ka bibia me mfa tell. I hate him and I despise him. And I want him to die. Me pese cancer ni kuno. Yes. Kwasia obedi to me not omunipa. Obeye Ofori Atta deputy. Omo permanent sakoko. And the TV so abandon 24-hour economy rhetoric immediately and focus on growing business. Yeah, chen koko ewa Ashanti region kwasia ko ne kwaji bima Buase form imbebuni nye adwuma. Kwasia to go to Ashanti region or think crying and or ne jantra for the we are none throat cancer ne no mu bon send the minimum pro abuofu and on ne jantra for that one crying we ja Obuase na to onko Buase o almost in a year no amount 50 Ghana so mo fan ko yie ma no ombu Buase for ote Accra kase 24-hour economy no NDC for there omo anoa and omo concentrate e growing businesses Obuase and the Ashanti region ye che nkokon kete fa okwasia kwaji bi ko Buase. There were so many young people Obuase a omunya nkokon ketenkete omobeye. Wo de woton nanka tete enkran. Wenum kuro ofui. Woni mi ohun. Me say Kweku Kwate throat cancer na beku e was say cool in 2 years. I was say sionia sere. Ya num bia na ehwegu e de wadaka so aboa na just say easy. Me yere jantre ni. Me kire say me mabodam. Ewiwe ne wo fin. Mon kan kire ne say and the NDC aban no e che nkokɔ e wa Ashanti region. Na saa nkokɔ na omo che no ya pese de boa mmebunu no na omo so enya adwuma ye. Enti onfo ne kwase amfiri nkran. Na onko hu eye de omo che nkokɔ na Greek ministry na omo fa bi nkɔ Buase. Na Buase ye wo mmebunu bebre wo hɔ a omo pese omo ye poultry farm. Na se enya nkokɔ eye Buase for mmebunu 10,000 no mu nyina eye poultry farmer. Uni medwuma be create wo Buase aboa wenum kuro wenum kankan. Throat cancer be kun wo. Me se wo me beto se obi de sika wo utrima me man thumbs up. Wo. ana mo dwen say munya tumi a na eno ano no meboa enti mo nka nkire no ene NDC aban aka Obuase Ashanti region ya start che nkukọ enti wa wo hia nkukọ ni bi no kwaje wa wo pe nkukọ ni bi anyan no kọ ne kwaje go and fill the forms and get nkukọ ne kwanyan na nkukọ de acha 3 months nkukọ 10 a ombeda ne 30 saa na nkukọ te enti mon kanche Obuase West MP ni Sir Kevin Tailor say on for the question ni throat cancer ni free crime no mra Obuase na ombeje list ombra Obuase na ombeje list na on for sa list ni nko Agric ministry no nkwaje nkukọ mfamra odwan antreni ba.
Look, the MPP of Darocha, Sakiskek, Victor Wusu, Kofi Buzia, Professor Edubuahe, Alajete, J.A. Kufuor, those men of value, those men of integrity are not what we have today. I tell you without mincing words, the 5 people who are contesting, wanting to be flag bearers, are just sankwas.
Upon us with mercy. So those of us who have common sense and are on social media and are writing, why is the president giving 25 million and this and that and talking plenty and the cathedral is going to cost you to lose elections? No one will lose elections because he built a cathedral. We will see in this country. We will see it that no one is going to lose election because he dedicated a prime land for God. Judges were living in that place. Ridge is one of the choicest lands in this country. And they said, take the judges out and put the temple of Jehovah here. That's what Solomon did. Now, because David obeyed and he created a temple through his son Solomon, can you imagine Jerusalem 5,000 years after the fact? They still call Jerusalem the city of David.
Jantre ni chen obia o Ghana. Paul Ademochire. Mom bebunu na Moses so young people in Ghana na. Mosoria and away dear Paul Ademochire open one of the filthiest, dirty human beings. Paul Ademochire. All kinds of answer when you know na sebio on wakoji obi yire and now wasa threaten no Paul Ademochire. Na yire na weji mintira kakra because ono so negatives in the doorso because of Exim Bank former CEO no the one ye eti ontumi nkasa ajantra fo mienu Paul Ademochire and the cathedral and the dien no wieska Paul Ademochire now we Christo ni na akwa we such a filthy disease, no credibility, everything about him is a curse. And also I know oversized shirt was starting hono na onim de ebeto no was starting hono so on any click no me see this year is going to be a difficult year for you people was starting hono also I know extra large me say o skinny ni nyina obeton skinny shirt ni skinny jeans ni nyina Paul unhu bibi da me say o de ma menye din na Jimmy way and the cathedral they were justifying $52 million thrown in the gutters. This is how they were doing it. And remember, they were doing it with the scriptures. Because you have one quotation no more de dadamo. Master, me, let me tell you, I don't take my spiritual life for granted. I don't. And I wouldn't also want you to take your spiritual life for granted. But you should not allow anybody to use what we call spirituality, religion, to lead you astray. With Jimmy, so our spiritual life, you will lose, you will perish. If you don't just see it as media, where can Bible, where can Quran, you need to also sit and look at things very well. 90% of the people are kuta Bible quotation on TV, so they don't even believe in it. Sometimes sit down and reflect. And yet they be a quotation. Sit down and reflect. Such a disease of a human being. they were stealing from us using a Bible in the name of a National Cathedral. Kusibuatin away. Kusibuatin. And then suddenly, Abain Sesa and the Oman are powerful and the Kufuado. As of I didn't know, they are political pastors. Ada nyame adwuma no ye chewo say we 4 years we are I was another 4 years no kwatete nyame adwuma no e wo time a e wo say you enim sa 8 years you so kasa after 8 years on kasa biom nyame adwuma no e do some point e wo so do husie omo ye wifo Paul Adumochri is a thief. Me say he is suffering. I am his nightmare and I'll tell him he cannot sleep. He has murdered sleep. The nightmares is
so that is it. Kevin, the yemeni no kwa didi biya meka. Muma yemfa the political and to change, regardless of you being NDC or being MPP. Kevin Wotowoto Tailor has been a blessing for this country. We see atem no uyi de to nchen a atem no do de to nchen yi. Okasa baako na wadi atem, okasa mmienu na wadi atem. But on the more serious note, owura no waba aba beboa Ghana because the kind of hardship na Ghana yewom from Jack Toronto any nakwada kitwa owura DMB ayi onya flagbara obidi ewo ni party mu a in fact na chese oman no na yehu chiri because Jack Toronto magana fo nyina ya wese ono no ba eniema bo be kofom Ghana sika be ko ebotom iwi achiri de na nsema Jack Toronto ni aketo kan nyina no na kwa yesise bi ya trosem na da asem hudurada empo senke rekward dia na chese omu eno bi hijacking ene sebi ina yehu adia Jack Toronto the yemba kwa some yemfi and the other people in NDC omweden tibiana meka tegalem say issues no ekosoro but let me say later by and I say is from December ba this year no you can see say entwa video bi anaye pra right stand to be corrected na animu na ye fe kama na nkofo etwa what you say it tells you say the 9 most people na ejuma it tells you say apan we any ambidie and main business it will make sure people will live their dream life and doing a whole lot of things that will help this country to its to reach progression. The through Kevin Tailor and reshaping any blasting here any education any suggestion abwa papa because to the bikwana NDC for no the sheswa or the face one for on jomu omo interest level and obana say enkan bra yes just a semi gemfi ekoma akrada sikei. He was one of the people Okasama Samijan no hopa which is some patch what you say. It tells you so Kevin Tailor NDC Nikeke and I say, oh no, even when he is not NDC, and NDC asem no pe na mumayo minor asem and I ope because he feels like he has been in NPP before and what and the John Muhammad, you know. Some people got the opportunity some years back. He couldn't do even quarter of it. So he feels like he must help this government and let people know say they are the possible party that can stay in power for a longer period of time. They can bring developmental projects and now quite big push. They were Kwame Abuja, right? Road minister, and then quite no much as your meeting. It tells you how sincere this Abaywe Ayenage. And I've told you that this set of leadership in NPP right now, sorry, in NDC right now, they are different people altogether. They have vowed to make sure things will be done on its right way. And somebody said, if it must be done, then it must be done very well. And that is what these people are doing. And it's good because after all, again, obi yeto abamo obi anka eni kwansi echiesi no kas koye kwan yeto abamo obi eni kwansi echiesi no kase kotu nsuo yeto abamo obi eni kwansi echiesi no pa kase koti hospital anase koye den kosi aso anase kosi market. Now it is their duty for them to do, but because of say kurum ha omunye ntino ama enini na ye sese be NDC ayade abos odo mo ayade because people got that chance. They couldn't do it. They squandered the money. And Obi Kura Jana Kotana America. Or no person of the back. And they in the fates. He names of the boat on board. And only on no nothing. In Tinabusian for and 7 dear. My Dawson would see Kevin or Casa Bebre. Kevin said there will be a Sebi or Casa in the Oka. He brings facts always when he's trying to watch. Blast somebody is trying to come across with information on my evidence. Who say same way this is what and what it's involved, and I say same a farm intel kasa. It's Kevin dear. In fact, the meaning no quality, he has been a blessing for this country, Mother Ghana. In fact, now we are sentini a member boom for that now one NPP. Now when this a member boom for say sometimes we deploy leadership. Now you need to applaud him because a true leader always will criticize when people go wrong. A true leader. Obi also a leader. Obi also a candidate. Always he's trying to what? Criticize. We make sure say obe kan sembia ebema wanya sebi atretini ewo abrabo. He make sure say obe kan sembia ebema won so we feel say this and that you must do. It is a must for you and you have to what? Do it. The Kevin sebi you kwan so and you go be no eternity. That is why we find video and I put it across this channel and let you people know say so this is the way of appreciating him. You want to spread information, you want to spread his gospel. It is like the Bible, it is like he's preaching because always he saves life. Kevin has saved a lot of life by what? Letting people vote against NDC, so NPP rather. It is another aquaquay. It is so good here, baby, and so because Kevin Kobodu tell her the oil. Such person did not want this country progression, but Nipan person my way echo nechi because we the kind of progress I'm my one. It is overwhelming and it is unbelievable. So we need to commend Kevin Tailor because why are they? So and I must have a deal with Ecoso or Ghana. Chirawabi or comment session. Bye bye.